Kevin Graham, of a 543rd class of trainees. In the name of a goddess above, I hereby appoint you as squire of the church. I humbly accept my appointment. I pledge to offer my soul to a goddess above and both body and blood to a church on earth. Very good. It's exceedingly rare for one of your age to be appointed to this position. I can only assume your aptitudes or training achievements warranted it. May I strive to be a worthy guardian to the goddess's sacraments as a loyal and devoted servant. Well, if it isn't Kevin. So you managed to avoid having your promotion rejected by a top brass? Splendid, splendid. Instructor, I really can't thank you enough for all you've done for me. Never dreamed I'd be an actual dominion supervising my training. How sweet of you to say. Hard to believe you were the same boy who walked up before the congregation of the sacrament shouting, "Make me a knight, please." I'd appreciate it if you took that memory back into the furthest reaches of your mind. Oh, but how could I? Had I missed your grovelling, I never would have taken an interest in you in the first place. Not in a million years would I have thought you related to Rufina. You could have asked her to take you on as her pupil before resorting to drastic measures, you silly boy. Well, I had my reasons, let's leave it at that. Very well. Doesn't matter at this point anyway. Congratulations, you're now a dog of a church, just like the rest of us. Good to have you on board. Thank you. Not sure what's the most reassuring metaphor to be using on new recruits, though. You might scare someone right off. Please, you're not trying to position yourself as some sweet doe-eyed thing, are you? Besides, I think it's a perfectly apt description for us. We go around sniffing out sacraments wherever they may be, tearing through the throats of heretical fools who are enamoured by them. Can you spot the difference? Come on, instructor, I'm used to you by this point. I don't really care if you call me a dog, but if you call your beloved Rufina one, don't you? Not to worry, Kevin. I can read behind the lines as well. Did I guess right? I do owe her a lot, but I wouldn't call her my beloved. She's like a big sister to me is all. You make it sound like Like you what exactly? Rufina, I thought you were in Mitheria on a mission. I was, but I tried to finish as quickly as possible so I could be back for your appointment ceremony. So proud of you, Kevin. Amazing how fast you've grown, and you're now a full-fledged adult like me. Well, thanks for going out your way to come here. Not sure I deserve to be called an adult yet, though. I've got a whole lot more work ahead of me, and I want to be half a knight if the two of you are. Oh, how modest of you. By the way, have you let Ries know about all this? Not yet. I'm planning to write her a letter tonight. She's been real mad at me ever since I decided to come to Arteria, though. Hopefully this will cheer her up a bit. There's not much else I can do to make up for a short going home. Perhaps we should do that together at some point if we can find the time. And while I have a chance, thank you so much for looking after him all this time, Ian. You give so much of your free time, and I really do appreciate it. Think nothing of it. It proved quite fun way to kill time. He has a fair amount of potential in combat arts and thaumaturgy too. Showing all his skills on the practical side of things, however, his academic side is less than stellar. I had a feeling in the pit of my stomach that may be the case. Oh right, I've got to get going. I have to pick up my new room key and medal from a general affairs guy. Sorry, I'll talk to you later. What's this? You look so concerned. Feeling guilty because he followed you into such a dangerous line of work? Not at all. It's completely up to him and him alone. I would never try to dictate his life choices. It's just that I think he'll make a fine knight personally. He checks all the boxes. He's got potential, he's got determination. All in all, I can see why you're so proud of him. And call it a hunch, but I'm really surprised if the stigma manifested in him just like it has in you. Well, I'm impressed. I don't think you could sense that of others if you didn't possess one yourself. Yet one more reason to feel frustrated that you aren't a Dominion. I know we're friends, but there's no need for all flattery. My combat and thaumaturgy abilities are average at best. I wouldn't be cut out for a job at all. I'm grateful enough to be promoted from a squire to a knight. I see upper limit someone in my lack of potential. If only you saw things the way I do. Someone with average abilities at best couldn't have handled your Ouroboros case half as well as you did. Finding if a man reported strength to a swift enough to conclusion would be pretty feather in anyone's cap. Just as luckily both came to an understanding. As far as Kevin goes, he wouldn't need to rely on luck. His potential growth extends further and I'll never be able to go. There's one weakness holding him back. That poor boy is just far too kind. So kind, in fact, that I can see him driving himself into a corner because of it one day. Time for chapter 4. The Dark Stigma. Who do you get now? Catcher today? That looks like. Olivier and Zin? Prince Olivier? No, this is a surprise. Don't think it's a dream at least. Indeed, it is not. I would be overjoyed to share a sweet date with share in my dreams. One with a fine drinking companion, not so much. Ah yes, this is real, alright. Still, doesn't show count as a drinking companion too? In a way, it's fine to be drunk with a joy of a company, but it's very much the opposite. To be drunk with alcohol involved. That's one of the most important lessons I learned during my stay in Liberl. True words have never been spoken. But alright, enough playing around. You guys mind filling in what just happened? We shall make your embraces and tearful greetings afterwards. You two really are something special. You think you'll be a little shaken finding yourself somewhat unnatural at risk? This is quite a pickle. I appreciate it may be hard to believe, but that's the situation we find ourselves in. But to try and find a way out, we'll need to accept that. Oh, Muller, my sweet rose-kissed muse, ever pure and free of thorns, you must understand me. I've long accepted our current predicament as reality. Then why do you look so deep in thought? Need you ask? Perhaps my life's toughest decision lies ahead of me. Before me I find Joshua, Princess Claudia, Tita, and Rosette. Miss Julia, and even a new-faced Reese. Just whom shall I gather in my arms like a warm blanket in exchange for nothing since celebration first? Only you. Joshua? You were pulling my leg when you said it was the guy was an Everbonian prince, right? Hard to believe it is, yes. Putting my deepest earnings dilemma aside for the time being, sounds as though you've been making some headway in unravelling mysteries. Naturally, I'll be more than honoured to help with that. But first, you got a few questions you need to ask, right? I know, I sure do. I should have known you would be thinking along the same lines. You're exactly right. Fine by me, what do you want to ask? Think you figure something out? That's what I want to find out. First, I want to ask about the ghost you've been encountering. If I remember correctly, the first time you met her was on a balcony with Grancel, right? Indeed it was. She gave us a cue that allowed us to eventually find and rescue you. It was the first time she appeared to us as a ghost, but I don't believe it was the first time she directly communicated with you, was it, Father? Don't think so anyway. When the reason I first arrived here, we heard a strange voice talking to us. But I think that's probably her too. So at first she existed here as only as a voice. She gradually started showing up with her body. I know that's a weird way to put it, but it's true. Backs up what our man in black said. Yeah, so the Lord of Phantasma has stolen most of her power, right? He kept referring to her as a hermit and master of a hollow garden. Plus the inscription on the monument behind us has Hermit's Garden written on it. I think here we connect the dots just fine. That's true. Makes sense to me. Well, it explains why this place is kind of comfy compared to the rest of the weird, fiend-infested places. Feels like we're getting closer to the truth. Sounds of it, she's been here in Phantasma for a while. And she had her power stolen by the Lord. Since then, she's been trying to help us. We assume that to be true. Maybe the monuments scattered around are connected to her somehow. Seem to exist for the same purpose, guiding us. I think there's one more thing in our possession. That cube. You think so? Unfortunately, your guess is as good as mine exactly what it is. That being said, I think the odds of it being connected to her somehow as high as everything else. What do you think? You've done a remarkable job of making sense of a situation you've only just arrived in. Still, if we assume to be true, there's something else we should be doing. Helping restore her power, I assume. That way we should be able to ask her what else she knows about the land we're in. Well, leaving that aside for the time being, I do have one final thing I'd like to ask. It concerns the Lord of Phantasma. But simply, wouldn't happen to have any idea who they are? Why me? Well, from my perspective, they're awfully fixated on you. Seem to know about Reese's deceased sister as well. There's the fact that you're able to summon devils. Seems to be pointing to you two, and you in particular. I can see why you'd ask, I guess. Unfortunately for you, I've got nothing. If anything, I'd say there seem to be any of the Gralsritter as a whole rather than just me. I suppose that's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an organisation like that had more fair share of enemies. No offence, of course, I have plenty of enemies myself. Trying not to sound like it's something worth boasting about. Anyway, even if we connect with dots, we'll have to serve a mystery for another day. Next time one shows up, we'll have to see what we can force out of them. Playing 4. Kevin? What's up? Do you have something else you want to add? No. Just I'm not feeling very well. I'm going to sit next playing out. Sorry for the trouble, everyone. Please look out for him on my behalf. Ries. Wait a sec. You're not going to go after her? I am sorry, I'll be back in a minute. Ries! Wait a sec. What's with you all of a sudden? Oh, I know, you're feeling left out because I'm the only one you know here beside everybody else, buddy. Sorry, Ries. Probably wasn't fun to have to sit around for a whole happy reunion deal. Should have noticed earlier, but I'm really being insensitive. When are you going to stop acting? It's true I felt a little left out. You've clearly gone through so much together. Yeah, I had some amazing times. Watching you all, how could I not felt lonely? You've been avoiding me for the past 5 years. I thought you'd grown close to so many of us, while going out your way to keep me out of arm's reach. You know I didn't mean it like that. But at the same time, I'm so happy you did. I knew how badly what happened to Athena had hurt you. I knew how you were driving yourself into a corner. I couldn't confirm it myself, but I knew the rumours that you were just desperate to burn yourself out were true. That's the reason why I felt as lonely as I could, and why I felt when you were making off new friends. Except that it turns out you hadn't made any new friends at all. You're putting the same exact thing you do on me. Every single one of them at arm's length. They can't get close to you. You won't get close to them. On the surface, you're a cheerful person having fun with everyone. But inside, you're as cold as you used to be. All you're doing is manipulating your own emotions so people think you're someone you're not. After watching you ever since we reunited, that's become plain as day to me. And I'm happy you're worried about me, but you only got the wrong idea totally with this one. So I'm good at a lot of things, but pretending to be someone I'm not isn't one of them. I don't pull my leg, Kevin. We all know that's not true. When I'm happy, you know about it. When I'm mad, well, you know I'm not so good at hiding that either. Same transparent guy I always was. I wouldn't say you weren't easy to read, for me at least. After all, I know how genuinely shaken you were by the Lord of Phantasma's message. Their words, some of the words of a Gralsritter, always come across as cryptic, but not to you. Deep down, you know exactly what we're talking about. Just constantly keep it from the rest of us and try to keep us in the dark. Maybe even manage to pull the wool over your own eyes too. Come on, you can't seriously devour a new offering presented to you and display your seal once more. You know exactly what it means, don't you? You know what? Maybe we should sit things out for a bit. I get that you're angry as you're upset with me, but starting to make you jump to some really out there conclusions. I'm being tired out, so they're going to make it worse. I'm not saying I don't deserve the anger. I generally was busy. At the same time, I wasn't sure how to face you if we ever did meet up. Still, we're going to be working together from now on, so... Oof. Everything you're saying is just meaningless. Maybe you always don't realise that, but how dare you think I, of all people, would fall for it? I realise I'm turning my back on my duties as a squire by doing this, but I can't bear to be near you any longer. I can't stand to see the Kevin I thought I knew so empty. Kevin? Sorry to have to see that. Don't worry about it. I was want to know something, Joshua. You looked at me a fair bit since I first stepped on the scene. I have. I know that you're called the Heretic Hunter. I know that you're one of the 12 dominions that lead the Gralsritter. I know you want to take the execution of the sinners of the church. I figured you'd know your stuff. Wouldn't want any guys whose backgrounds you haven't fully vetted to be close to your girlfriend for too long, huh? I can't deny it. Still, the only people you harm are those sinners and everyone else. Decided for the time being, at least, that you weren't a threat. Wiseman was your work too, wasn't it? Sure was. My job was to get rid of him, that's it. Everything I did with you guys leading up to that point was to get myself in a position to get it done without him catching on. It includes helping you out, naturally. You must have been aware of the possibility of Estelle would be taken on board with Glorious too. You thought that allowing it to happen would help you in the long run, so you kept quiet about it. Wow, now that's what I'm surprised you pieced together. But yep, you're absolutely right. I figured there was a chance you might get abducted, but I did absolutely nothing about it. What I cared about was finding out what Wiseman and you were up to. Where you were, for that matter. Couldn't use better bait for her. And yet all that doesn't change how I'm more grateful than words can express. Because if you hadn't helped me back then, I would still be Wiseman's puppet. I would have broken in my own hands what I valued most. That's a debt I'll never be able to fully repay. Oh, sweet Ada, you're just being cute. I know you're smart enough to realise that it's not at all why I threw you a bone, right? Just wanted him to get me a bit guarded enough to create an opening. Helping out was the perfect way to do that. And again, that doesn't change how grateful I am. Knowing why you did what you did doesn't erase the gratitude I feel. Really, it's just as well you end up quitting over us. You'd stuck to high heaven if you were an enforcer now. Honestly, you're totally right. If Ries is sitting on the sidelines for now, let me help you out in her place. I might not be as capable as helping you out as she is, but I should be able to back you up. I'll take what help I can get. Thanks, I'm glad you got my back. I think we know exactly who's in my party. Don't get me wrong, you're good, but those three are my best party members regardless. Okay, let's check my status. I like his new outfit. It's a pretty cool outfit. How about ovens? Nothing special, to be honest. You got move 3, which is useful to have. You got the single row. The same one as Chloe, effectively. And with that, I'm going to end the episode here, guys. I'm going to spend a few minutes just adjusting my ornaments and such. Join me next time when I carry on the storyline a bit, or maybe do some doors, not sure. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.